Well, hello there and welcome back to part 3 of my little insight into my studio and how I work creating these fiber art pieces. And as we've looked at in the last couple of sessions, this picture behind me, picture of boats, is about halfway through, and it is using mostly New Zealand wool, which is this fluffy wool here, gets turned into my two-dimensional fiber art pieces. And if you look back at the other videos, you'll see sort of how that magic, bit of science, bit of magic, bit of creativity creates these pictures. Now, I get asked, what kind of fibers do I use? And the answer is mostly wool. And that is, my preference is merino wool, and we have beautiful merino wool here in New Zealand, and that is because it has a nice balance between slightly coarse, slightly soft, with a really nice sheen to it. I also use Corriedale wool, which is a little bit more coarse, and I usually use that as my layer 1 of my pictures, just to help get the colors blocked out. But when I start to bring in the detail into those pictures, I like to use something that is a little bit finer, a little bit more higher sheen to it. Now, which brings me to the next point, is when I want to put the highlights into it, I was using silk, and all different colored silks, all different colored dyed silks. Now, silk comes from offshore, comes from India, and the poor little silkworms have to die to create the silk so that they can harvest the silk. Now, I had a problem with that because I want to have an art practice that is sustainable, biodegradable, and all those non-toxic, all those lovely words, that I want to bring into my art practice. And I want it to be so that no animal, no creature has to die for my art. But I loved the qualities of silk. So what do? How do I get those beautiful highlights if I don't use silk? And so I went on an exploration journey, and I tried goat, which Angora mohair has a gorgeous sheen to it, but it is quite wiry and it doesn't felt that well. So I thought, oh dear, well, I can't use goat. What else have I got? And just recently I got introduced to bamboo. Of all things, bamboo has this amazing sheen. So in this picture here, and you can't see it up close enough to sort of appreciate it, but there are some highlights coming into that picture that are using bamboo, and I'm just so thrilled. So to answer the question, my two fibers of choice are mostly wool, and that is mostly from New Zealand farms, and bamboo. Now, bamboo does not come from New Zealand, but at least no animal has to die now for my creativity, and I'm very pleased. So that's me, a little bit of insight. Have a great rest of your day.